Hello. Now I was planning to make another stained glass version or stained glass design as I did in my other videos, but walking in here today, I kind of figured I need to do some cleanup. It's really gotten out of hand, and I just can't let it go any further. Now, I did do another stained glass illusion, but I can't show you because it is for someone to give as a gift, and I don't want to take the chance that they'll see it before they get it. So I won't show you that, but I do need to, yeah, obviously things are piling up. Got wood piling up everywhere. It's a huge mess. It's hard to know where to start. But I'm going to be starting with my wood. I think that's the part that needs my focus right now because I'm having a hard time finding stuff or trying to reach stuff. So I'll need to get that organized first. It's like the old saying, you can't eat a whole, when you're presented with an elephant, you can't eat the whole thing at once. You have to do one part at a time. Not that I eat elephants, but for some reason, it is a saying. Tackle one part at a time. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at changing the wood storage on here. Now, I had some ideas, some elaborate ideas of some wood storage, some type of lazy Susan that would pull out so that it clears the wall. You can turn it around and you can have, make it by 4 feet by 4 feet. So that makes, 16 feet of wood storage, similar to a whole 16-foot wall, just in one small corner. But disadvantage of that, one, it would mean quite a bit of engineering because there'd be a lot of weight on there. Two, it'd be the cost of all the stuff I would have to buy. And three, if ever we move this place, being in a permanent, permanently put into the shop, it would be a pain to move with us as well. So then I think, okay, if we move, then it'd be good to have a cart, maybe a 3 foot by 4 foot cart. But that too can be some problems, especially in this shop. And then also being that I want it, to be able to do vertical storage of the wood. It could end up being tippy and then I'd have to over-engineer it, again, cost-wise. And our garages here in Canada, they all slope towards the garage door. It's not a flat floor. There's no drains. You drive in with a cold car full of ice and salt and sand, and that melts here. They slope it so that it drains out of the garage door eventually. So when you have a cart, especially when there's a lot of weight, and you start bringing it out and the floor is leaning, and believe me, it's enough lean, especially with the weight, it would be hard to push it back into its spot. So scrap that idea. I'm just going to do a wall storage. I had one over on this wall before we had the laser. It worked quite well. I loved it. It was easy access. And we were making furniture more at that point in time. And so the changeover was pretty quick. But when we needed to find a certain board with lots of knots or less knots or something like that, or we wanted a walnut or a cherry or a maple, it was all nicely lined up and easy to access. We didn't have to worry about trying to get over a pile of wood and find a piece of wood that's hidden way behind, 3 or 10 different boards because it's way at the back or something like that. So I do need to fix that up. And plus, I got some garbage and clothing and everything else that's getting in the way. So that's what I'm going to tackle today. I don't know if I'll get it all done. Hopefully I can. And then we get this video out. And yeah, that's the plan anyways. Whether it works or not, I'm not sure. I'll probably try and do more of a high-speed view of what I'm doing. And then you'll see the end result, see how it looks. I'm procrastinating. I'm going to have some more coffee, and we'll get to it. I hate to throw out any of this kind of stuff because they all have potential in future projects, right? It's just when will I actually make those future projects is the question, and whether or not is it worth to keep? How much would it cost for me to keep it versus, just going out and buying another board to make these little pieces? And a lot of times these little pieces end up not being the right size for the project that I'm doing. But it's hard. It's hard to say I'm going to scrap this stuff knowing that, oh, I could have used that. But yeah, I think I'm just going to scrap this stuff. There's no use hanging on to it because it just makes a whole mess. And it's hard to organize them. I mean, I can make a little box to have them all hold in there, or make a little shelf on top. But again, it's probably going to sit up there for years, collecting dust. When I just have to go out and buy one board, pays for itself usually anyways. So scrap it is. I have all these cedar boards from the old fence in the back. I made videos about making like planter boxes out of them and using it for a number of other things as well. And I actually gave a whole bunch to a friend of mine as also, but I still have quite a few boards left. I've done a few projects with them since, but I suppose I could have left this in the shed. Then again, if I want to do other projects, I suppose it'd be good to have it on hand. So I'll keep them in the shop, but I just have to figure out how I'm going to store those because they're so short and they take up a lot of room. I have to have I like to keep it vertical like this direction. Again, so that I can just sort of quickly pick, no, I don't want that one. I don't like that one. I'll take this one type of scenario. But I definitely would have to have it like a shelf so that I can have one above the other, like so. Yeah, should be doable. So of course this plug is in the way. I want to bring the wood all the way up to the panel here. Up to here about. So I'm going to have to move this plug down to there so it doesn't get in the way. Should be easy enough. Make sure to shut the breaker off. I just have to make sure I have the right one. That's off. And now I can move it. And I'll take this French cleat out of the way too. Of course, any project wouldn't be a project unless I get distracted. And I'm looking at the slab and trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it. It's been over 3 years, I think I've had it here in the shop. My son picked it up. Their workshops was to go to actually one of his teachers had a business where when they had to cut down trees. They get contracts with the city and stuff like that to cut down trees. And he had his own sawmill at his home, and of course he brought the students there, and he gave him the this slab, which is beautiful. It's just trying to figure out what I'm going to do. It's good and dry now for sure. It's 2.5 inches thick. Yeah, I'd like to make a table. Of course, everyone does epoxy resin. That's been done a million times. So I'm just trying to figure out what else I can do, whether or not we can actually use it in our house here as well. We're limited on space right now, and but I would like to be able to use it. And I have an idea. I'll do a video on that at some point. But yeah, it's in the meantime, I do need to store it. I like to keep it upright, just to try and keep it. I might switch around, lean it this way now instead. Again, because I do want to have to have a nice backside. Actually, I might use this side as the, that'll be, again, project for a later date. Maybe not too later, so that's why I don't want to put it too far. But now the wood fell down there, of course. Ugh. Attached to the wall, essentially. Shouldn't go anywhere. A little rickety job, but I was just going to put a strap and screw it in to throw the wood to this wood, but I didn't want to make a hole in the wood because my luck, the hole will be exactly where I'm going to, it's going to show. It's going to wreck the whole piece. So I didn't do that. I went ahead and just made a little, that's not going to go anywhere. Plus I'm going to have wood stacked against it here too. So it's there. If I really need it, I can get it out. But I know it's not going to be a project in the near future. So leave it like that. All right, so next is stacking the wood this way. Of course, this ends up ruining a little bit of my plan as well, because now it's sticking out there, but I'll see what I do. I might make a cart yet for the shorter stuff. Of course, I put all the wood that needs to be cutting, need to be cut over here in the way, so I'll have to get rid of that stuff before I can cut the piece of wood for the base. That has to be done, so I might as well do that now. Get that out of the way. Some scrap wood. We do need some firewood coming up, so it's a good time to have some extra firewood. This wall is complete. It's not how I envisioned it, of course. I had some, like I said at the beginning, I had some ideas. But yeah, I mean, all in all, it's actually holding the wood pretty good. All I have left are little small pieces. And then most of that stuff over here is stuff for renovation. So I'll have to figure that out. Now, what's left is, of course, plywood as well that I use a lot for the laser. And all these little pieces, don't really want to get rid of them. Might get rid of some of them yet, but all in all, I still like to keep some of those so that when I do need them, I have access. So I probably will make a small cart for plywood on one side and the small pieces on the other, and for the dowels as well. Right now, I'm just using a bucket and kind of falls all over the place. So I'll have to make a little cart, and to do that, I will need the wheels off of this. This thing over here, not going to be able to show much of it. It's kind of leaning now, but it's like a shelving unit. We used that when we were doing a lot of small stuff like coasters and ornaments, where we had a lot of different layers and they had to dry. So I would have that was nice and close to the spray booth, and I'd be able to put them on the shelves. Spray one, put them on the shelf, let them dry, do the other ones, and then vice versa. So I had like, I don't know, 15 shelves on that unit here. Again, unfortunately, I can't really show you how that looks, but right now it's just a bunch of junk in there anyways. So I'm thinking I'm going to take that all apart. Haven't been using it more, haven't been using it enough to say it's worth it to keep that whole thing there. So I'm going to have to take that apart, which means, of course, I have all kinds of stuff leaning against it right now that I moved. So I'll have to move all that stuff out of the way so I can take that out, mainly to get to the wheels. But I also wanted to just take that apart because, yeah, it's taking up room. We're not using it. I was about to take this all apart and scrap it, but now I'm wondering I might be able to lay it. I'll cut part of it off, so it's about 54 inches from the bottom to here. Cut that off here and then put it sideways, and that could be my boxes for the small pieces. I might be able to put another divider in there. I have the dividers already. So I just need to put a base, and then I just need something at the back where I want to put the plywood against. I think it'll work. In theory, it should work. I'm not sure if it'll work in practice, but I'll give it a go. Top of this thing. Okay, let me get this down. And we should have somewhat of a cart. It moves. Okay, so that moves. Next is, I just need to put a little ledge on the front so that I can put a plywood there so it doesn't slide. And I would like to divide this a little bit more to put all the wood in there. I'm just wondering, do I actually need to bring this up higher? 'Cause I do cut my plywood down when I get it to this size. And I think we're going to be okay. I don't think I need to do anything. I think it's going to be fine as long as I have a high enough edge in the front then. You know what? I was going to put the divider this way, but I'm just going to put them. I already have these pieces. I was planning to put a divider like this way for some reason. I don't know why I was thinking that. When I have all these shelves already, it's already made for that. I can just put my shelves in. Like so. I mean, you have some play, but that's fine. Yeah, get this one out. Okay, so got the front on. Little front lip here. I don't know what happened to my camera. I had it on. I was talking away. Yeah, so I have the front on. Now I can put plywood in there. And then on the back side, I'm going to be putting all the little pieces. So that's what I'll do next, is try and clean up that corner so I can actually bring the cart there. Then I'll have some more room to play around with. Let's see if I can get this cart into the corner. Ugh. Now, don't look at the trim and stuff there, but this is my new wood storage. And I think it's going to work and meet my needs for now. Again, I kind of mishmashed everything that I had available just to get that look. So I have all my little plywood pieces here, or smaller pieces that have been cut down, or some smaller pieces down there I can keep. And then all of my smaller wood pieces are back here. So I think as long as I can keep control and whatever I have only fits within this bin and whatever I have only fits on that wall, I should be good. Now, if I were to do a piece of furniture or something like that, I definitely don't have enough of one type of wood there other than cedar, but I'm going to use that for furniture. But if I needed to make a pine piece or something else, obviously it's not going to fit in there. But if I were to buy it, I would just buy the lumber, let it sit for a couple of weeks, and then use it. So, and then eventually I do want to use up all that cedar, and then I can get rid of that top part and probably use it, put that top stuff that's up there into the cart as well, or maybe use it up also at some point. But anywho, that's it. It's not the beautiful cart. Like, it's kind of coming in the shop and only using what I have in the shop to make this, without going out to the store and buying more lumber. I was able to use up most of it. That cart, again, was our drying rack. It used to be our drying rack. Now I think I only have two little pieces to get rid of. I don't know where it went. I only have two pieces to get rid of from the rack itself, so that's good. Reused again from a bed frame to a drying rack, now to a wood storage rack. Yeah, I might put I could always put a nice piece of lumber at the end there and make it look nice. You wouldn't even know it was mishmashed together with all the lumber inside. You wouldn't even know it. Wow, if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. Just by staying here helps me out, helps the YouTube algorithm to say, hey, this is a good video. So thank you for that. And at least now with this backdrop, I can use this as a better backdrop for my introductions. At least I have some nice wood behind me. Do want to fix all of this wall as well. Well, the rest of the shop, of course. I only did about 1/8 of the shop right now. So I got a lot of work ahead of me. Hopefully it's not going to be as dirty and cluttery, of course, because this is where all the clutter was. Got to get rid of. I still have lots behind the scene to get rid of, but at least this is the controlled area, and I need to keep it controlled like this as much as possible. Now that I've sort of niched down on what I'm making, it should be possible. But sometimes I make a new project and it gets kind of out of whack. I have to try and keep in mind that all the wood I have has to stay in that section, or in the cart. So we'll see if I can manage that. If you see in future videos that I'm starting to get wild with my lumber storage, let me know. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear about it, and it might keep me on track. And again, thank you if you made it this far. If you'd like to see more videos of this dude, 50-some dude in the workshop doing stuff, subscribe to the channel. And if you liked what you saw, hit the like button. I really appreciate it. Hope to see you here again at Dusty Workbench. Take care.